Rafael Nadal has backed Chris Kermode ahead of Thursday's ATP presidential vote. Rafael Nadal has warned players and organizers not to oppose Chris Kermode ahead of the ATP presidency vote. A six-man panel will decide whether Chris Kermode will remain president of the ATP when they have a board meeting in Indian Wells on Thursday. 3 tournament organizers and 3 players from the Players' Council will decide fate, with Novak Djokovic expected to have a big say. Kermode needs the backing of 2 organizers and 2 players to keep his ATP presidency. Despite many players wanting change, Rafael Nadal has warned against the move. The 17-time Grand Slam champion told a group of reporters on Wednesday that a change would stop the process of improving the sport. "I believe in long-term projects. I am not a very big fan of changing things very often. I really think there's a lot of things to do. We need to sign a contract for the World Tour Finals and there's a new ATP Cup." The 32-year-old also believes that Kermode has done a good job and therefore has earned his place at the helm for a little longer. "I personally believe Chris did a good job," Nadal explained. "He is a good guy, who did good things for our sport, and it would be good if he stays for a while more. New president needs time to know all the things and create a team, so in my opinion changing the president will stop the process of improving our sport." Although players like Vasek Pospisil believe that not enough money is given to players in comparison with the money generated by the ATP. One of the big controversies about Thursday's vote is that Justin Gimelstob, who is still facing a felony charge, will be allowed to vote on Kermode's future today. This doesn't provide tennis with the greatest of looks as Kermode fights to stay on the top of the ATP hierarchy. As for Rafael Nadal, he prepares to face Tatsuma Ito or Jared Donaldson in his first match in Indian Wells on Sunday. Former world number 1 and twice Indian Wells champion Victoria Azarenka cruised past Vera Lapko 6-2, 6-3 after 1 hour and 23 minutes, setting up a second-round clash against Serena Williams at the BNP Paribas Open in a rematch of the 2016 Indian Wells final. Azarenka served at only 52% and saved 4 of the 6 breakpoints she faced. She converted 6 of her 13 breakpoints. Azarenka went down a break in the second game to trail 0-2 in the opening set, but she came back by breaking serve 5 times to build up a 6-2, 4-0. Her younger compatriot Vera Lapko pulled 1 break back in the 8th game at deuce to win 3 of the next 4 games for 3-5 and fended off her 5th match point, but Azarenka closed out the match 6-3 with a break of serve. "I was a little bit nervous at the beginning. First rounds are always tough and for me it's unusual to play someone from my country. At the beginning she played well, she started aggressive serving well, and I was a little too much on the back foot. Once I started to play aggressive and dictate, that's what turned it around," said Azarenka. Azarenka will meet Serena Williams in a rematch of the 2016 Indian Wells final won by the player from Belarus. Azarenka stopped a losing streak of 5 consecutive matches against Williams, who lead 17-4 in their 21 head-to-head matches. Azarenka and Williams will meet for the first time since they gave birth to their children Leo and Olympia. U.S. player Bernarda Pera cruised past 17-year-old Catherine McNally 6-2, 6-1 after 73 minutes. Pera dropped just 13 points on her first serve and broke 6 times. Both players reeled off 10 of the last 11 games from 2-2. Sofia Kenin came back from 1 set down to beat Yafan Wang 1-6, 7-5, 6-4 after 2 hours and 35 minutes in a rematch of last week's Acapulco final. Yafan came back from 0-3 down by winning 4 consecutive games to take a 4-3 lead in the 3rd set. Kenin came back to draw level to 4-4 and broke serve in the 9th game before holding serve to seal the final set 6-4. Kenin will face this year's Dubai finalist Elina Svitolina. Canada's 18-year-old Bianca Andreescu fought back from 1 set down to beat Irina Camelia Begu 6-7, 3-7, 6-3, 6-3. The teenager dropped her serve 5 times, but she broke 8 times to claim a hard-fought win after 2 hours and 23 minutes. Andy Murray is hoping to return to tennis at some point in the future after his successful rehabilitation. Andy Murray, at Queen's Tennis, Twitter, multiple Grand Slam champion Andy Murray is hoping that he will still play tennis in the future after successful hip rehabilitation. The former world number 1 spoke at Queen's Club on Wednesday morning as he announced a new sponsorship deal with Castor. In his speech, Murray said that he would love to continue playing, but he is still unsure on when a return would take place. "I want to continue playing," Murray explained. "I said that in Australia. The issue is I don't know whether it is going to be possible. I'm a lot happier now than I was over the last 12 months since I had the operation." After the Australian Open, Murray went through hip resurfacing surgery in London in a final attempt to play tennis without pain again. This is the same surgery that Bob Bryan underwent last year, and now the American is back on the double scene winning titles. Now after a few months, Murray revealed that he is pain-free once again. "I have no pain in my hip anymore and I was in a lot of pain for a long time. The rehab has been slow but it's been going pretty well. I just need to kind of wait and see how things progress. If it's possible, I'd certainly love to compete again." Although Murray seems a lot happier and is without pain, he knows there is a long way to go if he wants to return to tennis. It was only a few months ago, where Murray was shown a tribute video after his 5-set loss to Roberto Bautista Agut. Now he had revitalized his chances of playing the sport again. Can he make a return this season? Roger Federer's legacy lives on in Stefanos Tsitsipas, but will it come back to haunt him later on in his career? Stefanos Tsitsipas at ATP_Tour, Twitter. Stefanos Tsitsipas has clearly been inspired by Roger Federer's legacy, but is that a bad thing for the Greek superstar? The 20-year-old from Athens continues to make waves on the ATP Tour as he has already won 2 career titles and reached a Grand Slam semi-final. This rise has been so rapid that he's even beat his idol Roger Federer at a Grand Slam and believes he can compete with the best players. It's obvious that having Federer as your idol is something to have as a base for your game, as Stefanos explained in his press conference yesterday. "It's an honor to play against Roger. As I have said on numerous occasions, I have idolized him since I was 6 years old and I saw him on television. I guess in this I agree with the majority of guys." However, yesterday's Dubai final defeat shows there are weaknesses within Tsitsipas, and the legacy that has inspired him could be a bad thing. Comparing yourself to one of the greatest players of all time isn't necessarily great, considering you're expected to show a clinical edge no matter who you play. Yesterday we were unable to see that from Tsitsipas after his 69-minute loss saw Federer lift up his 100th career title. Of course, the tiredness from winning Marseille could have played its part, but if the Greek wants to win a Masters 1000 title, he needs to show more commitment on the big points. An ability to control a match is something that he lacks, and his nearest rivals have gained over time, especially players like Alexander Zverev, Dominic Thiem and Daniil Medvedev. If Masters 1000s want to be in Tsitsipas' future, he will have to control matches and occasions much better, especially being consistent with beating the top guys. There's a reason why Alexander Zverev is being seen as a future world number 1 and Tsitsipas isn't. At 21 years old, the German's ability to control a match and an occasion consistently is something to admire. A big serve and heavy ground strokes has seen Zverev win multiple Masters 1000s and reach a career high of number 3 in the world. Now Tsitsipas must replicate this and prove that he is certain for quarterfinals each tournament, and that starts with Indian Wells next week. Although it has inspired him to begin with, over time Federer's legacy could be a bad thing for Tsitsipas as he looks to overcome the pressures of being compared to one of the greatest.